दिसते का स्क्रीन? हॅलो.
हो.
ओके. हा. करू का स्टार्ट?
Yeah,
हो
you
कर
can.
कर.
Okay. So today my demos on the Spring Boot code application with Mybatis. Start firstly I will start with the introduction. Here we use I am using the Mybatis, STS, Maven and Spring. First I will create a CRUD application with JPA. After that, the second thing I will use a Mybatis. Here's the Mybatis and the JPA is the same thing, which we connected the SQL framework. After that I am using STS, which is you already know that key IDE for the Java developer. Okay, here is the introduction part. Okay, this is the introduction. This project is about the CRUD application, build a Spring Boot application with Mybatis. What is the CRUD? CRUD is like create, read, update, and delete. In all that in this project, I will creating the all these methods like create, update, delete, and so on. The what technology I used in that application, like I'm using Java 8 and more version, and Spring Boot dependencies I will add it in that, like Spring Web, Spring Mybatis, and MySQL driver. In the JPA, I will use a Spring JPA, and in that I will use a Mybatis. Database I use MySQL, and I'm using the Maven. Maven. Okay. What is like employee code API in brief? Suppose I will show you. I will creating application with the employee model, employee controller, employee repository, application.properties, and pom.xml files. All these concluded all these applications. Okay, creating all this. Okay, what is employee model? In my application, there are the all these files included, all these properties. What is the employee model? Model contains the entity, all the contains attributes, and employee controller contains which has the request mapping method. Employee repository which extend the JPA repository to perform code application, like create, get, put, push, and many more. Application.properties contain DB details like my DB username, password, and many more things. On pom.xml contains dependencies, all I needed to API. Okay, operation perform, like I will use the most post mapping, get mapping, put mapping, delete mapping, all these things. Like what is the post mapping? Post mapping we use for create a new employee, like new employee user. If I need create a new employee, like my name is Aishwarya, I will create a new employee like Aishwarya, Yogita, Arti, and so I will name that entities, all entities, and that will post it. If I want to get, so I will using a get mapping, and put mapping, delete mapping. If I want to delete some entity, so I will use a delete mapping. Like here is my project structure, like all these things I will using that. Okay, dependency, adding a dependency using the string initializer, like uh, like this. Suppose I'm using a Spring as a starting to, like I'm creating a Java or Maven, like version Spring Boot versions, and adding this all dependency to using this. Okay, here is I can adding a dependency like pom.xml file. After the Spring initialization, it will be all automatically created a pom.xml file. Here is a database, like application.properties file. Here is my server port number, my URL, my root, password. Okay, all these things. Mybatis mapper location, where is my location is as located. And here's a model class also. Like I am creating the username, first name, last name, and email ID. and I'm also using a getter setter method to implement my code. I don't write all this code by typing, so I will create a getter setter method, like getter setter method to implement the getter setter construction and so on. It will be reliability that makes the code more readable and the maintainable. Mapper layer, Mybatis, like all these things are using. XML files, controller class. Controller class can be I will using the all these methods, like get all you, if I want to the get all the users, I will using the get mapping, and all this code are the post mapping, get users, and so on. After that, my complete I will show you this. Suppose my this is my application.java file, user controller, user.java file, and so on. After that, I will okay, I will run. Hmm. Here is my Tomcat server port on the 2037. So I will go. Okay. I am using Postman here. So my code was run or not. I think it isn't working. So here I using the, like, suppose I'm creating a methods. Suppose here is my URL, and after that I will create the entity, like creating a file, like body JSON file. After that I'm writing a यहाँ पर okay. Yeah, okay, so okay. Here I'm using a URL file. You are writing a URL. So I'm यहाँ पे creating the ID, first name, last name, first name, last name, and email ID of the person. And after that it will run. I will have, here I can get all the get all these things, post, update, and delete also. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Aishwarya, in question in my side, I know you explain very well, but your topic is a Mybatis, right? So can you describe, the Mybatis and JPA, both have the Java framework, like interacting with the database. But can you describe what is the exactly difference between Mybatis and JPA in your
Actually, there
application?
is no
What is
quite
the exactly role of JPA and Mybatis?
okay. There is not quite difference in all both the things. Like if I wanted to creating the more things, suppose the Mybatis and JPEGs both are the similar things. Suppose I want to the more like both have
No, some difference, Aishwarya. I
hmm,
know the both are the interacting with database, both are the framework, but anyone difference between JPA and Mybatis? JPA Hibernate and Mybatis. You can differentiate only,
hmm,
like how the mapping. in Mybatis and JPA? What is the curing? What is the performance in Mybatis and JPA? Anyone difference?
Okay.
Everything you said is fine, but you can tell me what is exactly difference?
The performance of Mybatis and GPA can vary depending on the specific user cases. Like both are the complexity of the queries, application requirement.
Can you describe? Can you show me, please, where the you exactly use the Mybatis in your application?
Sure.
Means how Java object map in Mybatis and JPA. This difference I want. Hello, Aishwarya.
Yes.
You got my question?
Yes. Like I will create the interface also only like in a JPA Hibernate. I mm,
Where to create interface in application, your application, Aishwarya? Through
okay,
JPA?
in a mapper file like here.
Means in JPA, you need to create a mapper file.
Yes.
Okay. Where to?
Aishwarya, I think good demo. Let's improve on this means detail part as well. Correct means we should know idea about JPA and MyBatis. Correct difference between them. So you guys can continue till 8:30. This demo I'm dropping. Correct. I'm having some another meeting, but let's continue with demo. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Aarti, continue your session. Thank you.
हो हो. ऐश्वर्या, ऐक ना, तुला
you.
JPA आणि मायबेटीज मधला रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करू शकते तू? किंवा कंटिन्यू ठेवलं तरी चालेल, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. पण हा.